You can throw dudes into lava and create lava moats. Need a little bit of subtext with that? Well, I don't mind if I do. Another nice little gem that I got to play at IndieCade for the first time is actually something from my hometown, Chicago. Home of deep dish pizza, the Cubbies, the Sox, and better public transportation. Trust me. The game I have here, Telepath Tactics, is the follow-up to Telepath RPG Servants of God by Sinister Design. Sinister Design being a self-proclaimed one-man army. The one man behind the army is a fine gentleman called Craig Stern, an aficionado of all things RPGs, being the founder of IndieRPGs.com. Usually a dead giveaway of the indie developer are the finely trimmed beards they sport. Oh yeah. The Telepath series is one that Craig's worked on for quite a bit, including with Servants of God, 3 browser versions, and an arena version. In spite of this latest alpha having the name Tactics in its title, all the games in the series are essentially tactics games, similar to the Final Fantasy Tactics series or the Fire Emblem series. They're all turn-based grid RPGs, with the first 2 games revolving around a Middle Eastern theme, and Tactics going for a medieval European theme. It was refreshing to see the Middle Eastern being represented in any kind of game, and maybe a bit of a disappointment that we're going back to the fantasy realm for this new game, but hey, if a lava pool ain't broke, don't fix it.
Oh dear God.
The game has surprisingly a very detailed backstory for itself. In an 800-year-old island empire, the island of Kovat is the setting for a small group of knights fighting a mysterious band of rebels. Now, obviously with it being an alpha, there's still a lot of developing to go, but from what I've seen, it's going to be a big part of the game. Each of the characters have their own little personalities and perhaps some personal agendas through their travels. The gameplay itself is what you'd come to expect from a tactics RPG game. You're based on a grid, you wait your turn, you organize where your troops are going to go, the long-range attackers go here, the short rangers can go behind your enemies for extra damage, the turn ends, they attack you, and you win when all the other guys are dead. Yay, fantasy violence. There are commands to be able to use the keyboard, but the entire game can be controlled with the mouse, from selecting where your character moves, to where they face, to the different commands that they can execute. It's refreshing in a tactics game not to have to click the control pad 12 or 6 times in order to get the right position you want, as opposed to the mouse and keyboard. Now, I'm sure it's nothing new or innovative to tactics RPGs on the PC, but for someone new to tactics RPGs on the PC, it's great for me to play something, a tactics RPG, on the PC. Well, besides the game being on a PC, there are 2 things that really separate this RPG from the pack. First, the environment is much more of a factor in the game. I previously mentioned that you can create moats out of lava, but that's not all you can do. If there's, say, a river separating you from the rebel scum, you'll have to use a builder to create a moat in order to get to the other side. Then make like 300 and give them something to drink. Then there are other high cliffs where you can see if your enemies can fly, and as mentioned before, see how much they can survive liquid hot magma. But that of course also means that you're just as susceptible to those kinds of dangers. How exactly should I plan building this bridge when I know the enemy's just gonna swarm me? When should I move this rock to place me in a good advantage? It's something that really adds an extra level of strategy to the game, especially with its very intelligent enemy AI. Instead of like the Fire Emblem series that patiently waits for the moment when you get closer to them to attack them, the AI has a few tricks up its sleeve, and it's definitely gonna be a nice little challenge. The second big thing that comes with Telepath Tactics, multiplayer and mod support. Craig Stern always wanted to be able to play a game with friends, and this is one of the big goals of the game right at the beginning. In fact, it was originally intended to be a multiplayer-only game until he got a lot of feedback asking for a single-player campaign. The multiplayer will support up to 2 to 6 players, and everything you can do in the single-player campaign, you can do in the multiplayer campaign. Build bridges, create barriers, throw your friends into lava, it'll all be there. All that with online support? Yes please. It's also going to have very extensive mod support. The engine is designed so that players can create their own multiplayer maps and even import their own images to make a level and stage. And we're not just talking limited things like the ground or the grass or the stairs. Everything can be modded and manipulated with your own images. Want to do the ultimate fan cliche and make a Super Mario level? Go ahead. Want to send off the dearly departed Twinkies and make a level devoted to them for some strange and odd reason? All the tools will be available on day 1 for your odd hostess needs. So, obviously it's hard for me to really review an early alpha and say what I think works and what it doesn't. I would like to see a later version of this come out with diagonal aiming though. It's just really strange to play one of these games without it. But having played what I have in the alpha version and everything that it plans to do, it has potential and I had fun with it. With the game's single-player campaign, multiplayer, and mod support, there's going to be some nice value in this little RPG that could. If you're interested in trying this game out and have a Mac, PC, or Linux, you can head over to this website going on right now and download the alpha demo of the game along with finding all the info on the game there. Man, sure would love to see this game come out soon. Hope it finds some way of finding a way to do it. I regret nothing.